Hey Dad, can we bring more bees, hummingbirds, and more wildlife to the garden?
Yeah, I think we can. There's a couple ways we can do that.
Hello, welcome to Sproutlogic Gardening. My name is Nora.
And I'm Mike, and today we're going to make our garden more wildlife friendly. Now, there's a couple ways to accomplish that. I think the first thing we're going to work on is birds. Two types of birds to be exact. So our normal birds like robins and cardinals, but then hummingbirds, which act as pollinators. So to start off, what would you like to do first? Do you want to do the hummingbird or do you want to do the normal birds?
The hummingbird.
Okay, perfect. So for the hummingbird, what we actually have here is just a general hummingbird feeder. So this is going to be really helpful in making sure that we get them fed.
Wow.
Now, do you know what hummingbirds eat?
They eat nectar.
They eat nectar, that's right, yeah. And what we have here is this is a liquid you can purchase at any kind of gardening store, or even like Lowe's or Home Depot. And you can hold this actually, I'll do the pouring because this is kind of hard.
Okay.
Just hold that steady for me, okay? And so what we do is you put the nectar into here, and we'll fill it up.
It's red.
It is red, yeah. So they like bright colors. They're attracted to flowers and stuff. So the color red, yellow, for example, those are a couple nice colors they really enjoy. Flip it over. Oop, spilled a little bit. That's okay. And then we'll go ahead and place it and we'll hang it up afterwards. So we'll get that all taken care of.
I have a fact.
You have a fact? Sure. What is it?
It's about a butterfly. Do you know butterflies can see colors that humans can't?
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know that at all. Yeah, so that's a cool fact to share. Now, next, we're going to work on birds. So, now there's a couple different types of seed you can feed when it comes to birds. Right now, we're late spring, so there's plenty of food out here in nature. So chances are, normal stuff's not going to come around for. The suet, they definitely will. Black oil sunflower seeds is what we're going to do here. So this is what we're going to fill this guy up with.
This is so cool.
It is cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you do me a favor. You can reach in here, and actually I'll pour it. Probably be easier. Hold that lid to get out of the way for me. There we go. Thank you. We're going to fill this up. So this type of seed is something that will attract the birds more than your typical just normal mix that you put in the winter. I think it's important to note, though, we should always aim to try to have these things out when it comes to the normal seed all year long. So you have a purpose to have it out during the winter to feed them. And then, of course, during spring and summer and stuff, you're going to put out something like this in order to keep feeding them and attract them over. Now this is suet, so this is a very common mix, and these things are relatively inexpensive, I should call out as well. I mean, this is a couple bucks. This was like $6. I think this was about $8, and the feeder was probably the most expensive thing. It was at $10. Let's keep that in there for now, because we're going to put that block over there. But do you know what that is?
I don't know.
It's a mixture of different seeds, fat, corn, things like that. So the birds really like to eat that kind of stuff. It helps them stay full, gives them plenty of energy. They can fly around and help out in the garden. Birds, of course, are super important in the garden, too. It's worth mentioning. So they are natural pest controllers. So they'll swoop in and take care of all kinds of caterpillars, bugs. You know, we have June bugs around here, for example, that are pretty nasty. Birds eat them, which is nice. And then when it comes to the hummingbirds and feeding them this, they're pollinators. So they help our flowers produce seed, and they help pollinate all kinds of different things. So we're kind of going to start off with the birds. I think the next step is probably to move into bees and butterflies, maybe? What do you think?
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good. We'll go work on those now.
Okay. Hey, Daddy, what are these flowers?
Yeah, that's a great question. So this is actually clover, really good for bees and butterflies. Now, a lot of times when people see this in their yard, the first reaction is, oh boy, this is a weed. They want to get rid of it. Do you think you should get rid of something like this?
No.
I don't think so. The amount of benefit that this provides to our pollinators, in fact, you can see a bee right here coming in, especially this time of year. Now we're like mid-spring, it's great. And it's a real natural way to provide that benefit versus growing flowers. A lot of times what we don't realize when we grow these flowers, they don't actually do anything for our pollinators. They're either not native or the pollinators simply aren't interested in them. They're interested in stuff like this. So I'd say if it was my choice, I'd have it in my yard. A couple benefits to that. Number one, taking care of nature. Number two, less maintenance. I can let this yard ride for a while. You know, I'll mow it maybe once a week or so, let it get a little bit higher, taking care of the pollinators. I'm using less gas. I'm out here less doing the heavy work at least. And so there's a big advantage there. Better water retention, and also this is good for the yard itself. The clover and other things that grow in here, I mean, I have all kinds of weeds like dandelions and stuff, but they actually do end up giving back to the yard as well. So more resilient yard. Now I know if you're into the more like, one solid type of grass across the way, I totally understand that, but I'd encourage you to take one corner at least and make it a little bit more wild. Allow it to grow like this and not really worry about it. Because believe me, it pays back tenfold, attracting all kinds of really beneficial insects and things to the garden. Speaking of that, we should go to the wildflower garden. What do you think?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, wow. What are these?
Yeah, so these are cornflowers. So this is the wildflower part of our garden. You've probably seen it in plenty of my videos. This is another way to give back to nature and attract that beneficial wildlife. So cornflowers actually grow wild where we're at, as well as a couple other flowers that are natural to the area. The advantage of growing these is, number one, they're suited for the area. Number two, they're suited for the pollinators, the bees and things that like to actually live off of these. Another great thing about it, less maintenance. I mean, I pretty much let this go all season. I mow it once and that's it. I don't have to worry about it. It's a pretty part of the garden. And yeah, there's times it gets a little rough. Like with any wildflower garden, you will see phases like you're seeing now, a lot of brown in between. But that's because the other stuff, which you can see coming in down below over here, hasn't just came in fully yet. But again, the advantage here is taking care of those pollinators, giving other animals places to hide. So, other little critters that are running around in the garden, maybe rabbits and things, they have a place to hang out and hide in and be safe. And also, it just adds that extra kind of wild touch to a garden, which I think sometimes we really miss when we talk about gardening. I don't know. Some people prefer the more formal gardening style. For me, I kind of like to have a solid mix of natural and formal at the same time. But I think this is an important corner to any garden. And I would recommend to anyone to go ahead and put one of these in. Pick a corner, like we were talking about the clover and stuff. Make it wild, let it go. You'd be surprised. But I think let's wrap this up and kind of talk about some other benefits and things, right?
Yeah.
So this is a pretty short video for today. We talked about how to attract birds, bees, butterflies. And by the way, butterflies will be attracted to the other stuff like the hummingbird feeder. They sometimes will feed off of that. Of course, the wildflower garden, they definitely will. But I just want to sum it up and give you a moment of pause. Think twice before using herbicides and pesticides. Herbicides wipe out stuff like this, which helps pollinators. And frankly, clover gives back to your garden. It feeds the soil. Is it really necessary to have one type of grass? I'll leave it up to you. That's your choice. I would encourage you, if you want to, at least pick a corner of the garden. Let it go wild. Make it a wildflower garden or just let weeds grow over there. I know they can spread and I understand that, but trust me, the benefits and the wildlife that you're feeding outweighs that. Really, it does 10 times over. And then, of course, we talk about birds. You want to attract them. They're nature's pest eaters. They go after them. They attack them. They'll eat the June bugs, all the nasty stuff that likes to go after your roses or tomatoes or whatever. We definitely want to attract those types of things, right? Otherwise, we're forced to use pesticides. I recommend definitely not using them. A perfect example, my roses had aphids. Now, normally I would use all kinds of different stuff. This was years ago to try to take care of that. Instead, I let it alone. I left it. Came out the next day. What did we see on there? Do you remember?
Ladybugs.
Ladybugs. They showed up on their own, an army of them, frankly. There was like 10 or 20 of them, and they wiped out the aphids. And they moved along in the garden, and they kept doing their thing. Nature will take care of you, and you take care of nature, trust me. Well, to wrap things up,
Make sure to subscribe to my daddy's channel.
thanks again, everybody. See you in the next video.